Hey everyone, John Park with the Mojave Valley Daily News. Welcome into the Huddle.
Awfully aggressive.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And every once in a while it just hits me like
really.
that. I'm here with the Matt. So this is brought to you by Anderson Ford of Bullhead City. Matt Curtis from Anderson Ford of Bullhead City.
How's it going?
And you gotta, don't let this thing end without us talking about your event tomorrow night.
We canceled it.
Okay, there is no event tomorrow night.
Correct.
It's canceled.
Do we have to talk about it at the end again?
Postponed,
Or no?
postponed I should say. Postponed.
It's been moved down the road a little bit. And then we have Matt.
That's good. Just Matt. That's on my friend's
Matt
phone.
Hanrahan from
Witness protection
I have
program.
friends. I have
Seriously.
witness protection. I have
Witness
friends.
protection?
Friends is plural. It could mean 2.
Okay.
Doesn't have to mean 100.
Matt Hanrahan from Barron Services, Barron Pest, Barron Pool, Barron Sporting Goods, Barron.
Just Barron Services works just fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, though. I like that. I appreciate that. Sporting Goods is a good idea.
So we are going to be covering the 4 playoff games from this week. But before we do, we are going to recap last week's action. We're going to start off with talking about the Rams-Cardinals game.
I knew it. It's all right. Have your fun. Seriously, it's okay with me.
Rams barely eked out a win,
Oh,
34-11. In that, Matt and Matt both picked the Rams, so you guys are both correct. And then there's me.
Yep.
Chris,
Oh.
I thought we had this
Something special is going to
choreographed.
happen right now?
I thought this was all worked out.
Oh, look at that.
There's no audio.
Oh, well. We knew you were wrong.
I'll tell you what happened.
We knew you were wrong.
People can't hear. What John right here says, I predict Rams 34, Cardinals 11.
That's not what you predicted.
Nope.
You predicted that? No.
I read your mouth. It looked like you said
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Yeah, you did. Matter of fact, you got angry at us for not picking the Cardinals almost.
I was boasting. I was going out on a limb, hoping that I was the only one right, and I was incorrect. Just a phenomenal game by Kyler Murray. 137 yards, no touchdowns. He had that, well, unless you count that 3-yard touchdown pass that he threw to the other team.
There was not even a game on. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't realize they were even playing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I didn't have to go to LA to see my team lose. Some people had to travel to see their team lose.
That's
but
true.
you know, everybody's a little bit different.
Correct.
You know.
That's true. So,
It can't always be about me. It's got to be about that Matt too sometimes.
that one. That
I'm
one.
feeling left out over here.
Don't worry, your time is coming. Then we have Kansas City, 42 over the Steelers. We all were on Kansas City. Both Matt said big. I did not, but they were both correct. 21-point win. Then we had the 49ers and Cowboys. They both said the Cowboys. I said the 49ers. Kind of. I said I think the Niners are going to win, and then when it came down to it, I didn't.
Oh, you
commit.
picked the Cowboys when push came to shove? We all picked the
No,
Cowboys?
we didn't. I didn't come out and say, all right, it is going to be the Cowboys. I said, I think the 49ers could win.
Could win.
Could win.
Well,
Matt, are we going to count that?
No,
We're gonna
anybody
count that.
could win.
Yeah, yeah. Well, 2 teams
all right.
could win, right?
2 teams.
Yeah.
Right. I said that if Garoppolo does this, which should be the game plan, that the 49ers will win.
Okay, moving on.
But
We'll give it to
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
I'm
take
not
that
giving
one.
it to him. No way, no way,
Dang
man.
it. Buccaneers over the Eagles, 31-15. We were all on the Bucks. Bills 47-17 over the Patriots. We were all on Buffalo. And then we had the Bengals Raiders. And Matt Hanrahan said that the Bengals will beat them by more than a touchdown. I said I think it's going to be closer than that, but the Bengals would win. And Matt, predicting with his heart, predicted that the Raiders
Negative.
would win.
Predicted with my head. It took referees blowing whistles and all kinds of good stuff for the Bengals to get the win. But, you know, we won't go there. You know.
Ooh, I like this.
We're talking about the
it's-
Raiders game, not the Cowboy game, right?
No, we're talking. So did you not watch the game?
I did.
Have
I
you
watched.
not watched what's going on this
I
week?
watched
The
it.
officiating staff of the
been a-
Bengals Raiders game has been let go. They are not allowed to officiate any more playoff games. The head official was actually fined. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do to go back and replay a
And
game.
it's a
It is
horrible
what it
thing,
is.
yeah.
But they blew the whistle while the ball was in the air when the referee was asked why, he said, well, I was trying to protect him from getting hit, and he was about to step out of bounds. So you see that there's 3 Raiders DBs in the area, and 2 of them stop and completely turn around because the whistle blew.
Yeah.
So
Frustrating, right?
absolutely, but
It's
it is
less,
what it is.
It's less
football.
frustrating than getting whooped and having your team look like
Oh,
Pop Warner team
absolutely.
for sure. But I
Absolutely.
can sense your frustration.
Oh,
I
are
can
you
feel it.
predicting what's going to happen with Green Bay this week?
All right. I like it.
Early
Now we're getting
projections.
good.
Early projections?
It's the Rams game from a few years ago where they get mauled there going into the on the pass interference or the not pass interference. And it's terrible that that's what has to happen at this time of year. These are supposed to be
is.
the best officiating
Yeah.
crews.
Yeah.
And I mean, for it to happen the way that it did, but I mean, it is what it is. It's football. We move on. You know, everyone takes their licks. It's not the way we like to see the end of the season go, but it is what it is. And it's, you know, for the Raiders, it's time to rebuild. They've already released Mayock. They've released Olsen. So we'll see.
Saw that the interim coach had his interview today.
Correct.
So that's good. You a fan of his?
I actually would like to see him
Bisaccia?
stay. Bisaccia. I would like to see him stay. I think he proved himself. I think the team is responding very, very well to him. He's been there for a while. He's a special teams coordinator. I would prefer to see him stay and let's do some building within the team rather than go outside. I know Harbaugh was interviewed and he said that I don't know if it's true or not, but he was interviewed by ESPN, not by the Raiders. But he said that if the position is offered, he's accepted.
Ooh,
So-
that's a bad mistake.
Yeah,
For who?
Yeah, for both of them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I don't care for Harbaugh. I'm hoping we don't
He
go
did
that
good with the
direction.
Niners when he was in there. He was took him to the Super Bowl, and then he.
I don't know. I think the Raiders need somebody stronger than that to fix that environment.
There's a lot that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
I honestly think they need a good GM right now. They need someone who's going to come in there with some leadership. It's funny. They actually talked to Charles Woodson. So
Who knows? It's the Raiders,
guy.
right? Who knows what'll happen?
Woodson's been the cheerleader for that program. He's been a leader, can get in there and be the motivational voice for that team in the locker room. So who knows?
Yes, Charles Woodson, whose greatest years were with the Green Bay Packers. That would be a good choice. I agree. All right,
Disagree.
let's get into the games.
All right, I'm ready.
Number 1. First game Saturday. It is the early game. Bengals at Titans. Titans had a first-round bye. They're the number 1 seed. They are 3-point favorites. Got a lot of stuff going on there. There's a possibility or probability that they're going to have Derrick Henry back.
Yeah.
He practiced at least a couple times this week. I mean, I guess they could be, come game time, they could go, no, he's just not ready, and hope that they make it another week, but we'll see. And then you have Joe Burrow, the way that Joe Burrow played last week. Could be interesting. Who wants to start this up?
Yeah, I'll let you go. I mean, your team, lost to him, so go ahead.
I honestly don't think Joe Burrow played that well last week. I think if the Titans come out and play the way they've been playing, I don't buy into the Derrick Henry being a game time decision or a same day decision. I think Derrick Henry is perfectly fine, and they're just leaving it there to linger to let everyone think. Derrick Henry's playing in this game. I mean, he's not sitting the bench. He's not riding the bench. This is the first round for them, and it means a lot to them. He's not sitting out. He'll be there. He's going to play. If they come to play, I don't think that Cincinnati's defense, and let's be honest, the Raiders' offense is not the strongest offense, but when they came out there, they were able to move the ball continuously on them. So as far as do I think the Bengals are going to be able to hang with the Titans, I don't think so. I think that this is probably going to be, I would say, a minimum of a touchdown differential in this one. I would say Titans by at least 7.
Oh,
Bold. Is that just because, you're angry with the Bengals from winning, or?
Not at all.
That's true. I was just curious.
I went to my anger management
Yeah,
class on Tuesday. Robert Gennaro did a great job
Nice.
calming me. No, I honestly, and it's got nothing to do with the Raider Bengals. I just don't. I know the hype has been Joe Burrow this year.
Yeah.
I just don't think he plays to the level of some of these other quarterbacks in the league do. And it's really him and Mixon, really. And if you don't have that connection there, you don't really have a whole lot else. So I don't know. I don't think that they're going to be able to man up against the Titans and stop the Titans, especially if the running game is on with Derrick Henry.
Yeah. So, I mean, you almost convinced me to go Titans. Because I think it's a close one. I really do. I don't. You said it was 7 or more. I think it's close. I like the Bengals here for some reason. I'm not sure where. The teams that get the bye week usually do pretty well when they, in their first playoff game, they're more than often they win. So
Yeah, but they're also this year they have to be one, but in the
Right.
past they've been one or two.
correct. And so I think Cincinnati can stop the run. I think they have the defense to be able to do that. I know Henry will play. I totally agree. He's not sitting out this game. You wait all year and then miss the what is now the most important playoff game because it's. You win, you win, right? You one and done, right? So I think Cincinnati is going to find a way to stop whoever runs the ball well enough to keep it close. I like whatever Burrow is or isn't. I like the Burrow-Chase connection. It seems like even though it's very young, they communicate well together. A lot of back shoulder throws. They find a way to get him the ball as a young receiver, which is very rare. I'm not a huge believer in either one of these teams. The truth is that these two teams are the worst two teams in the AFC left, right? But I think Cincinnati finds a way to go into Tennessee 2 weeks off. Cincinnati's playing well. I think they'll stop the run enough. I think Chase will have a big game. And I'm going to pick Cincinnati on this one. Like I say, I'm not overly confident. I'm kind of like a John Niners pick here.
Yeah.
But instead of just like waffling, I'm going to say Bengals.
There you
Bengals
go.
win.
I
That's where I'm
respect that.
at.
I respect that. At least we made a decision.
Yeah, I made a decision. That's
Okay,
right.
so didn't waffle, and waffle would be change my mind back and forth. And while I have a propensity to do that, I did not do it that week. So here's what I think. I think that the Titans have the second-ranked run defense. I think the Titans will be able to stop Mixon. I don't think Mixon is going to be a factor in this.
Right.
I think it's all going to come down to Joe Burrow. And while he's young and it worries me, the Titans also are 7th in sacks. So we don't look at the Titans defense and go, wow, this is this great defense. They're 7th in sacks. And I worry a little bit about the amount of pressure that they put on Joe Burrow. So I think if Mixon's a factor, it's swing pass kind of stuff, check down kind of things. But I think that connection between Burrow and Chase, I think, is too tough. I worry about, you're right, Derrick Henry will play, because why wouldn't you? You don't start practicing.
It's all on the line at this point. So,
Yeah.
you're not going to.
Yeah. So if you get banged up or re-injured or tweaked or whatever, you get the whole off season because you didn't. You didn't.
And he
get it
doesn't have to
done
play every play. He doesn't. He can take 25 snaps and still be effective. Right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But I just think that the, going into last game, it was like, well, how is this young kid gonna? I mean, this is the limelight now. How is Burrow gonna handle this? And I think that he showed that he's handling it just fine. And then even in the post-game press conference, he was like, calm and subdued, and we got business to do, workmanlike, which you don't expect from a young guy. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's be a good close game. It should be fun to watch. I think the Bengals as well.
Nice.
I think it's 2 or 3 points, but I think the Bengals as well.
I was really hoping that'd be the game you would both disagree with me. That would be the difference maker this week.
You guys, I'm not sure that you guys have, well, other than the Raiders game last week, but you guys don't disagree.
Huh, we did today. So far.
You do right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you'd stop riling him up, maybe we could get through this without any violence.
Nope, not riling anybody up.
Okay.
Yeah, just some levity.
I thought you were wearing the referee jersey this week.
I thought about it.
But after how the refs treated the Raiders last week, you thought again you didn't want me to have PTSD.
Gotcha. Get a beat down in here. Yes.
Vertical stripe thing doesn't probably suit you well either. Yeah.
Well, no, the vertical stripes help.
Yeah, but look how skinny you are. You lost all that weight. You're looking good. The horizontal would, yeah, it's probably time to change the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, that wasn't a good look.
Don't do that again, John. We just lost half the audience. All right, next up, the San Francisco 49ers, fresh off of their win over the Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers.
Well, since you've been riding the 49ers tail, you might as well stay with them.
Absolutely.
Sort of riding the tail, yeah.
Perfect.
Why don't you start this one?
Look, but you know that last week that the Cowboys should have won that game.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree? I mean, if you get down to the
with
final
8 seconds, if you're going to run down the field and slide in the middle of
what
the
the
field,
hell is wrong with
come
you?
on.
And they were at the 40, right?
Yes.
They're at the 40. There's 34 seconds left, and he runs Now there's 14 seconds left.
Well, no, when they first had it, they got into that zone. There was 38 seconds left. They could have ran 3 or 4 plays.
Right.
They didn't throw any deep passes. They had the 2 short passes that they were lucky to get to the sideline.
And then
he
14
runs up the
seconds
middle.
left. And the guy said our number was always 18 seconds. Anything under 18 seconds to spike a ball is not enough time. He had 14. He just missed it. But even if he stops and takes a knee 5 yards before that, they still save a couple more seconds.
Right.
It was just poor.
Doesn't mean they should win, though.
No.
You said the statement
No,
was
no.
they should have won the game.
No, well,
They could have won.
They could have won.
They could.
Sure.
They could have won the game.
So could the Raiders and the Cardinals.
Take
Correct.
it easy. Well,
And the Cardinals?
No,
Yeah.
the Cardinals were not.
Well, they
in that
could have.
game.
They had one team has to win. I thought we established that earlier.
From the
Something
coin
has to win.
toss, that game was over. All right, so 49ers at Packers. Yeah, I'll get it started.
Go ahead. How about it?
Packers win.
Really? That's it? Come on, it's your chance.
Look, they played earlier this year, and the thing when you watch the 49ers play over the last month, the thing has been, oh my God, this Deebo Samuel is ridiculous. It is when they line him in the backfield, he could run the ball. They do jet sweep with him. They throw him the ball. All these things. I studied tape this week.
Did you really?
No, I did not, but
okay.
a professional did, and I watched it on TV.
Gotcha.
And they showed.
Did they put that on TV when I did that? I don't
Yes.
remember that. Oh, okay.
And they showed how the Packers contained Deebo last time, and they said you treat him when he's in the backfield, you treat him as any other running back. Don't get confused that he's going to be running, slants or any of that stuff out of the backfield. Understand that he's a running back. If he goes in motion, he's just like any other receiver in motion. Difficult to tackle, talented for sure, but they showed how when he lines up at receiver, you treat him like a receiver, you double him, you treat him like the team's best receiver, you double him and get safety help and all that. When he's a running back or he's in fly sweep, you treat him as such, and they were able to contain him. They held him to like all-purpose yards, like 85 all-purpose yards.
Right, which is not a lot,
last
right.
time, right? So couple that with, these are some of the names the Packers are getting back. David Bakhtiari, he played a couple snaps 2 weeks ago, but he's, if not the best, he's one of the top 2 or 3 best left tackles in the game, protecting Rodgers' blind side. Zadarius Smith, last year's sack leader, Pro Bowler, hasn't played all year. Jair Alexander, best defensive back we have, hasn't played since week 4. Randall Cobb, slot guy, missed the last 8 weeks. Billy Turner, Josh Myers, 2 offensive linemen, those are both coming back. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who is their number 2 wide receiver, he comes back.
I think we get the point. The Water Boy's coming back
and
too. And
linebacker
the whole cheerleader staff is going to
Whitney
be here,
Merciless.
so,
No, we're talking 4. We're talking 4 starters on defense and 3 starters on offense that they haven't had over the last, all of them over the last 6 weeks
While they were winning.
while they were still
Right.
winning.
So these
Right.
guys are going to come back and make them even better.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I like the way they're playing now. I like the way that they've put pieces together. Does it make them better? It probably should, but there's no guarantee that. It could make them worse. They could struggle to try to fit all the pieces back in. Not the linemen, and I get that, but getting a receiver back in, taking snaps away from a cornerback who hasn't played for a bunch of, hasn't played in a bunch of weeks, getting him back in game condition again. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make them a better team. I don't think they need those guys to win anyway, don't get me wrong. But I don't think this is the week that those guys coming back makes the difference. It's the next couple weeks because they've been out for so long.
Well, let's look at the 49ers on defense. What is the scariest part about the 49ers defense?
And pass rush.
Yeah, their front line right there. So now you've got your entire offensive line, and like you said, maybe not so much on the offensive line. Well, yeah, that's because the offensive line know we're zone blocking, or we're trap blocking, or we're pulling and doing this. Well, pulling might be a bad example because that's something you have to work on timing for.
Right.
But when we're talking about them, and they may be without Bosa, when we're talking about the offensive line, or we're talking about the 49ers, we're talking about their front 7, basically. And having these guys back and having Randall Cobb, who is his safety valve, having him back, I think that's a big deal.
What do you think, Matt?
I agree. I mean, I think having a lot of the players back is going to be good. Randall Cobb did come back for a while and wasn't really doing anything. I can tell you that because I had him on my fantasy team. He killed me a couple weeks in a row. But, Cobb has always been the safety outlet. he's been back and kind of wasn't doing that before he went out with this last injury. He wasn't really the guy. Yeah, he was there for him a couple times on third downs and made some big
And
third
that's
down.
really where he is his guy. Yeah. I'm in trouble.
He is the third down guy. I don't know. I mean, to me personally, I'm going to agree with you. I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to beat the Packers. Whether it's because all these guys are coming back or not, I don't know. I just look at it right now and I say, man, that team is driving. They're doing well. They're firing on all cylinders right now. You know, Rodgers is the guy that, you know, he's found the fountain of youth, and he's for whatever reason, the guy, his consistency is phenomenal. His ability to lead the team downfield. When he's under pressure in the 2-minute drill, I mean, he runs a fantastic 2-minute drill, a hurry-up offense.
And that's really what I was getting at, is that they're playing well and they're getting these guys back, which is just can't hurt.
No, it can't hurt.
And I'm going to look at it like this. You know, is Rodgers possibly leaving? Who knows? Nobody knows. Devontae Adams,
Possibly.
coming to the Raiders next year.
Ooh,
Wants to come play with Carr. We know that he wants to reunite with Carr. From
Chris,
Fresno.
cut his mic.
Yeah. See what happens when they hear what they don't like and they're in charge of the program.
We do need a referee in there.
So yeah. So you know, Devontae Adams will be gone. So yeah, it would be a good time for him to stay on that role right now with Rodgers and help the old guy get to one last Super Bowl. But yeah, I don't.
One last before he goes to
The retirement home. No, I honestly, I don't think that the 49ers.
Well, he got a little upset right there. He got a little upset when you said that.
Yeah. I don't think the 49ers have enough to keep up with them. You know, did the 49ers squeak out one last week against the Cowboys? Yeah, but was it the 49ers good play or was the Cowboys bad play that really brought that one on? And I think the Cowboys were out of sync. They weren't doing what they needed to be doing. You know, a lot of people have ridden the coattails of the 49ers this year, early on, especially in the season. As the season went on, I think a lot of people kind of realized that the 49ers aren't who they thought they were going to be. And I'm still on that page. I don't think that the 49ers are a fantastic team by any means. I don't think they compare. I don't think they're really going to be in the same league as the Packers. I think that the Packers, when you look at the whole team, offense and defense, they just have more key elements to the team and key players to the team that are playmakers and make things happen.
All right, I think that's all we need to hear. I think that we can move on to the next.
I don't disagree.
All right,
Packers are going to
please,
win.
then, let's hear it.
I'll keep it short. Packers are going to win this game. Niners are the best team right now in the NFL. The way they're playing the last 2 weeks. If you just look at the last 2 weeks, they're playing better than anybody else in the last 2 weeks. Beat a good Rams team. Beat what should have been a good Dallas team. They're not probably 100% healthy. I think that hurts them. But let's not forget about what the weather is going to be like this weekend too. And I know Packers players are used to playing in Green Bay, and I get it. But with wind and temperatures, and if that becomes an issue, and it becomes Green Bay's run game versus the Niners' run game, you're going to have a ball game. And that's where I think the Niners have a chance. Is if Rodgers can't be the great Aaron Rodgers and he has to rely on his run game, they don't win this game. The Niners have a better run offense, in my opinion, a better run defense. Garoppolo can stay out of his way again. That's a recipe for the Niners winning. I don't think they do, but that's the recipe, and it could happen.
Sure.
Okay. And I would contend that six playoff teams this year, 6 teams that were in the playoffs, the Packers played.
Right.
They're 5-1. Their only loss was without Aaron Rodgers. They lost by 6 points to the Chiefs. So talking about how well San Francisco's played over the last 2 weeks, I think that most teams in the playoffs would have ran all over Dallas, not
I wouldn't disagree.
needed them to screw up at the end to ensure their win.
Right.
I think that you are underplaying the abilities of A.J. Dillon, especially over the last month.
I think they have a great run game.
He's been getting better and
2
better.
great running backs, but they don't run the ball as well, and they can't rely on the run as much as the Niners. Their offense is based around it.
I think they do pull the plug on running a lot quicker than anybody else.
And I
does.
think, but you know, that's that luxury of you can do that when you have Rodgers.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you've got Rodgers. You've got a lot of players that can catch the ball for him. Devontae Adams is just the guy's unstoppable.
Right.
And that's that luxury that Rodgers has. Rodgers can pick and choose. Hey, if I'm seeing it downfield. I'm going to get more yards by throwing it than I am on these runs. So
He does do that a lot, which drives me crazy. And when this guy's open, it's 3rd and 5, and he's 10 yards downfield. He's open. I'm going to squeeze it into that guy 35 yards.
Selfish, Aaron Rodgers. He's the most selfish quarterback in the league. There's no doubt about it. Find me a more selfish quarterback. Maybe Lamar Jackson. Maybe Patrick Mahomes. I don't think so, though. Aaron Rodgers is the most selfish quarterback in the league.
Okay, well, as long as he keeps winning games.
Yeah, of course. They're the best team in the NFL right now for the whole season. They're
Really
the
could
number
get
one
rid of
team.
that man bun, though, don't
He
you?
could get rid of a lot of things.
yes,
He could get rid of a lot of things.
Get rid of the man
I was
bun.
waiting. I thought you were going to grill one.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Good.
We were talking about hair right before we came on the show today.
If I could grow my hair long enough to man bun it, I would comb it up over the top
Little
here.
comb over.
I would
Have
a
bangs.
nice little-
Yeah. Well, we're sporting some really nice lines, all three of us, really. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Welcome to the Hair Club for Men.
That's right.
I'm
There
your
you go.
spokesman, John. All right. Next up, we have the Rams at the Buccaneers. They played once already this year. The Rams put it on them pretty good. I think it was 34-24. Brady went for 432 yards and a touchdown. Stafford went for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. Real defensive battle. Hey, you've had a chance to watch the Rams recently.
No, just a couple minutes of the first quarter. Then I turned the game off.
I'm out.
Then it was off. So is that the segue to me? Is it ready? Okay.
Yes. What do you think? Rams at Buccaneers. You got the 114-year-old quarterback back there.
Right.
He's fighting off Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller. Who Von Miller suddenly is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So you said it last week. You said the issue with Stafford, and the reason why you picked the Rams was Stafford's not going to come to the game, right? He's gonna cause them to lose. He's gonna choke, whatever it is. If Stafford has a run game like he did against the Cardinals, then he's a much better quarterback because he cannot win a game on his own. You're not going to run the ball against the Buccaneers the way you did against the Cardinals. It's just not going to happen. They won't let it happen. I'm not a big Rams believer. Everybody's kind of jumped on the train after last week and the whooping they gave the Cardinals. Cardinals were the worst team left in the playoffs when the first week started. There's no doubt about that. Rams beat up on a team that was struggling and didn't have, couldn't figure things out. They were well coached. The Cardinals weren't. It was not a great matchup. And now you're playing Brady. You're playing a guy with 35 playoff wins. This is, to me, where Stafford is the time where it is going to start. You're going to see Stafford, the Stafford you were worried about, right? Yeah. I just think Tampa has too much. I think the hype on the Rams is way too high. I think they come off a week where they dominated and they're feeling, look, we got the ball rolling here. I don't think they do. I don't think they're that good of a team. I think they're loaded with talent, but they're going to face a team that's going to be as well, if not better coached, a team with Tom Brady who can actually see over the line of scrimmage, a team that can figure out ways to beat the Rams, which the Cardinals couldn't. I don't think this game's close. I think it's a flip the switch of what it was during the regular season, and I think Tampa wins by 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I think it's going to be the game of the week. Out of all the playoff games, I think it is going to be the best game of the week. My opinion is this. I do agree with you. I don't think they're going to be able. I don't think Sony Michel's going to get the yardage that he does against the Bucs.
Although Akers looked good, and Akers is back. He looked good last week. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get the yardage that they need out of the running game. I think they're going to be able to. They're going to be able to get some first downs and be able to move the ball. But the key to this thing is you want to stop the Rams. You're going to have to stop Cooper Kupp.
Sure.
And right now, Kupp has been unstoppable. I mean, teams are double teaming him, and he's still getting the ball. They're getting the ball to him in the open field. They're getting the ball to him in tight coverage, and the guy's just making plays happen. As far as Brady, yeah, he's been there before. He's got the experience. He's got the game time. He's clocked the hours. He knows what he's doing. When he's on the field, he's a leader. Stafford, not anywhere near the same caliber quarterback. But it's honestly, in my opinion, going to come down to these two teams could go head-to-head, score for score. I don't think either defense is going to be super strong in this one. I think that there's too many offensive weapons for anyone to dominate on defense. So I do think that there is going to be some scoring going on. This one's a real toss-up for me. I look at it, and you're right. A lot of people have jumped on the Rams bandwagon because they've been winning games. But it kind of seems like, the Bucks haven't been talked about a whole lot, and they are just a consistent team, and they know how to come out, and they know how to get the job done, and they know how to produce when they're on the field. Just to go against you, we'll split this one up because I'm a 50-50 toss-up. I'll go with the Rams. I think that the Rams are going to be able to consistently move the ball to the receivers, and I think that's where the difference is going to be. Lately, I've seen where the Bucks have failed. They've forced the ball to Gronk. His old trusty is Gronk, and he's kind of that third down guy like we were talking about with Cobbs for Rodgers. Anytime you get into that third down situation, he's automatically looking for Gronk. Gronk is, at times showed signs of greatness, and at other times it's like, man, who is this guy? So it's just going to be a tough one. But if I'm picking here, I'm going to say it's still going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a 10-point game like it was during the season. I'm thinking we're probably looking 3-4 point game, but I'm going to say I think the Rams end up pulling this one up.
You know, you are a very smart young man.
Oh, thank you.
Was smart and young?
I'm going with him.
You should.
And here's why. So you've got the Rams defense with that front line with those three maniacs, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller. You're going against a Tampa Bay offensive line that is banged up right now, and they could be missing three of their linemen. You have a quarterback back there that's not mobile at all, and on the flip side of it, you've got arguably the best wide receiver in the league. If he's not, he's one of the top two.
I'd say him and Devontae Adams are the top two.
Right.
That's where he was going with that, I think.
Yeah. And you have and the weakness on that entire Tampa Bay defense is their backfield, their DBs.
The DBs.
So I don't have confidence in Matthew Stafford, as we've talked ad nauseum.
Right.
But I think that when you have somebody like him out there, you got a decent running game with the Rams, and I think that they're just going to have Brady shook the whole game, especially if the Rams can get out to a lead.
Right.
If they get out to a lead and they take away the running thing, and Brady's got to, and I think he's the smartest quarterback in the league when it comes to take what they'll give me and march the ball down the field. If it's throwing deep or if it's 5 yards at a time, whatever, I'll just take what I need. But I just think that the more he's got to throw, there's a more chance that Aaron Donald is going to break him.
Good, and that's for any team they play when it comes to Aaron Donald, right?
Any team they play,
Yeah.
yes, for sure. But when you're going
Von
against,
Miller.
and
You
Von
got
Miller,
these two
especially
guys
last
both
week.
coming off the edge. You don't have. Most teams don't have bookends like that on defense.
Yeah.
So you've got the J.J. Watts, and you can overload that side. Wherever J.J. is, you're going to overload that side. You're going to put your stronger guy over there. And you've got three guys coming off this end, man. They're going to be causing pressure. The other thing that I'll tell you is, touching kind of on what you said, is he's not mobile. But the big thing is, man, if you can get inside Brady's head, Brady loses his cool. And if you get inside Brady's head and you can...
Not many people have been able to do that.
No, but
it happens.
This year more than other years.
You watch it
Yeah.
when it happens, and he walks off that field, and he's cussing, and he's pissed, and throwing helmets.
Hide your Microsoft Surface.
And breaking, breaking.
Be no
Surface
tablets on the
throws.
sideline.
But I mean, you just see him when he loses cool. That's the time to strike.
Yeah, I just don't like the logic of, and I think about previous weeks, I don't like the logic of a Niners team that can go into LA and win. John, you're on the Cardinals beat the Rams last week, and now we have the Rams beating the Buccaneers. And so the logic of how a Rams team who can lose to the Niners whoop up on a Cardinals team which isn't very good, and you picked the Cardinals last week, and now you're picking against the Buccaneers. I don't see the logic there. I understand the matchup. I understand the matchup of it, but I think what you guys are talking about is more so what you saw last week against the Cardinals. I don't think they do that consistently against a better offensive line. I know they're still hurting. A better coach team, a better quarterback with more weapons. I just don't think they can repeat what they did last week. If they can, yeah, for sure, Rams can win this game. I just don't think they can do what they did last week.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily base it on last week. I've watched the Rams play quite a bit this year. I just think that it's been the consistency of what their defensive line's done, but more than anything, it's the consistency of Cooper Kupp.
Right.
And really, what you can say is that when it comes to the playoffs and you see guys that are veterans like Von Miller suddenly, maybe it took him a little bit longer to get into it, or maybe they figured something out, but he still has that motor. He's still an angry young man. And if he's, when you reviewed film,
Yeah, not those kind of
Gone
films.
with the Wind.
Yeah,
and
different
those
kinds of
kind
films. I reviewed other kinds of films.
We've
Yeah.
broken down film as coaches, and you see, all right, this is what they're trying to do. Here's how we can beat them. It doesn't matter if it's the middle of the season or the playoffs or whatever. You figure out a way of getting your best guys in the best positions to make plays. And I think that the Rams maybe have figured out, all right, this is what we have to do to get him single coverage or blocked by one guy instead of two. And you can't double all three of those guys. And I think that it's just going to keep, I'm hoping that they're smart enough to keep mixing it up and to throw Brady off his place, because he's not Kyler Murray. You couldn't do that with Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray just bounced outside. It didn't work.
No, nothing worked.
But
If the Rams win this game, they win the Super Bowl. I'm calling it right now. If they beat the Buccaneers, they run through the Niners in the NFC Championship, and they win the Super Bowl. We're talking about the Rams like they could win the Super Bowl, right? If they can beat Tampa, they can win the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, if they beat the Buccaneers, now they're rolling. They whooped up on the Cardinals. They beat beat Brady in Tampa. All the confidence in the world is there. I see them going all the way, and I can see them winning the Super Bowl from there. And it's just a thought. I think this is a huge game for them.
it is a huge game. If they really just, if it's 34-24 again against the Buccaneers in the playoffs against Tom Brady, then I can see them having the confidence and the talent to go the whole way.
And that's what it's about. But they haven't done that all year. They've beaten by teams that they should beat, and they won games they should have lost. And I just, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
I agree. All right. Last game.
Now's the game of the week.
This, I think, is going to be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Should be. Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, Chiefs are 2-point favorites. The Bills have the top-ranked defense in the league. They have the pass rush to contain Mahomes. They have a quarterback that is riding high and scoring at will, it seems like. Why don't you start this one?
Sure. So I think the matchup here for me is that third down defense against that third down offense. If you watch the Chiefs are number one in the league in third down offense as far as converting to first downs. Buffalo's number one on defense and stopping teams from getting first downs, right, on third down. I think that's where this is going to be. If the Chiefs win that battle, they win this game. There's no doubt in my mind. There's too many weapons. Mahomes has been able to find multiple receivers, even more so than he ever has in the past. It's not just Kelsey and Hill anymore. The running game is okay. We'll see what happens to Edwards-Helaire, see if he plays, if they can get both their running backs in. If Kansas City can convert on third down, they win this game easily. I'm going Buffalo. I like Buffalo here. I think Buffalo finds,
City can do this,
if they can do it, they win. But I'm going
I'll
Buffalo.
take the other team.
I think, and you and I have talked this throughout the year. I love that Buffalo team. What they couldn't do all year was run the ball. They couldn't do it. I don't care who they played against. They couldn't run the ball. Now they're starting to run the ball for whatever reason. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, to me, are the top two most exciting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I think that's what makes this such an exciting game. I believe earlier in the season they matched up and Buffalo won, but I also believe Kansas City beat them twice last year, once regular season, once playoffs. So we got a rivalry game. I mean, we really do. We're building a new rivalry here. I think the thought most people will be on is the Chiefs, but I think Buffalo finds a way to run the ball. I think they find a way to stop Mahomes on third down. I think they force Mahomes into some mistakes, and I think this is the game that Buffalo makes a statement. And I like Buffalo here, but I know it could go either way, but I like Buffalo.
I'll agree with you. I'm very much a Kansas City hater, rival of my team. It was funny, a few weeks ago when the Raider-Charger game was taking place, there was, depending on all the scenarios and how everything washed out, it could have been the Raiders playing the Chiefs. At one point, it could have been the Raiders playing the Bills. And we were looking at it, and I said, honestly, I would, as the Raiders, I would have rather played the Chiefs than play the Bills. The Bills are a little bit the unknown for us. They're the Chiefs. We know we can beat them. They've beaten us. We've beaten them. We've played against Mahomes. You and I have had this conversation earlier in the season that Mahomes isn't what he was 2 years ago. He's not as mobile. He's not as agile. He's not running the way he does. The downfall to this, to me, is that exactly what you just said. It's not just Hill and Kelsey anymore.
Right.
You're looking right now, you've got Daniels, you've got Edwards-Helaire, look at McKinnon last week. came in and was just an absolute rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, did everything in the game. He was the producer, 2 or 3 touchdowns. Why I really want to go with my heart on this one and say I want Buffalo to beat them, I just don't see it happening. I think right now with Kelsey, with Hill, with Pringle, with Hardman, I don't see Buffalo being able to contain them all. Buffalo does have a great run defense. They can stop the run. But if you're going to focus on a 3-headed horse out of the backfield that can run that ball, and really a 4-headed, because Mahomes, as of the past couple of weeks, has started running a little bit again.
Yes, yeah.
So you're looking at a 4-headed horse out of the backfield, and if you're going to really, really put all that pressure and keep those linebackers home, you've got 4 targets. And that's one of the strange things that Kansas City can do, is they run 4 of these receivers on the field at the same time. They got Pringle, Hardman, Hill, and Kelsey all on the field at the same time in a lot of their big packages, their big formation packages. So I just don't know if Buffalo is going to be able to handle that downfield. I think they do a great job on the short pass. I think they do a great job on containing a lot of the running. I just don't know if when you have multiple weapons downfield and Mahomes' ability to go through the checkdowns. You know, we've talked about some of these other quarterbacks in the past couple of weeks too, that they don't do their pass progression. They don't follow the tree. They don't do their checkdowns and look at, next man, next man,
right.
next man. Mahomes is great at doing that. He knows how to bide time. He knows how to roll out. He knows how to step back up into that pocket. And I think his offense, he has the confidence in his offensive line to where he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. This season, probably the first few weeks, he made more mistakes than he's ever made in his career. And I think he's gotten past that now. And as much as I hate to say it and really don't want to say it because I'd rather see the Bills win, I think this is going to be a close game, but I think Chiefs come out on top.
So before John agrees with you, because he will, what I like about this game is both offenses to me, are mirror images of each other.
Pretty close.
I think they have running quarterbacks. They have multiple weapons, 3 and 4 weapons. They've got 2 running backs in the backfield. Running game's not the most important thing to them, but they survive on spreading the ball around. Dawson Knox has started to show up. Obviously, Stephon Diggs has been big. Their receivers are healthy again. These are the 2 best offenses in the league left in the NFL right now. And even more than the Packers, if you ask me, as far as just being dynamic, multiple weapons offenses.
Multiple weapons, yes.
I see Green Bay right there, and I get that. But I think that's the exciting thing. They don't have as
many weapons as the other 2 have.
Right. And if it's equal, if it's similar on offense, then does defense take over? And if defense takes over, it's a Buffalo win. That's the only reason why.
Only in the run game. Only in the run game.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe.
And I would agree with you. If the Chiefs get shut down for any reason, or they come out game planning that they're going to keep the ball
Third
on the
down
ground and
conversions,
they're going to lose.
Yep.
If they come out with the typical Mahomes passing on first down, and not being afraid, a lot of teams like to come out and try to get the tempo of the new series and let's run and see where it gets us, and then second down, third down is our passing down. The Chiefs don't do that.
Yeah.
The Chiefs come out, they pass a lot. They're probably one of the highest percentages of a team that passes on first down.
And they should.
And that's where I think the Bills are going to struggle with.
All right, so.
Oh, did you have something to say?
Is there a waffle song?
All right,
you
thanks
can play?
for joining us. No,
This is a big decision you're making right now.
I've made my decision.
Okay, here we go.
And you were incorrect.
I love that.
I am taking the Bills. And here's why.
Peer pressure.
Here's why. The Bills' defense is much better than Kansas City's defense. Kansas City's defense is playing a lot better than it was earlier in the year, no doubt. But the Bills' defense is much better. When I look at their offenses, I agree with you. I think Patrick Mahomes is a better all-around quarterback, but I think that Allen does the things that he needs. I think he's a better thrower, and he's a good runner. So I don't think that the Kansas City defense is going to be able to stop the Bills' offense. Conversely, I think that the Bills' defense is going to be able to slow down, maybe. Kansas City's, not stop. Nobody can stop Kansas City's offense, but maybe slow them down enough. If you talk about how they're playing last week, Kansas City looked unstoppable the whole game. I mean, Buffalo pretty much did as well.
7 consecutive touchdowns.
That's
unstoppable.
That's pretty good,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
I think 7 for 7
is good.
The way that
NFL
you're
record.
supposed to go. Yeah. That being said, I mean, it's the playoffs, and Mahomes doesn't make mistakes in the playoffs. I think that Buffalo, a lot of time, their defense has to rely on the other team to make a mistake, or they force them into a mistake. I just think that, they've spent a lot of time in putting together a tough defense for the Bills, and their offense is kind of, other than Allen, you don't really, right?
No.
But they've got, I mean, people don't look at Buffalo and go, oh my God, their offense is so good. They go, oh, they got a tough defense, and Allen is good.
They've got Beasley, and they've got
Well,
Sanders, and they've got Diggs, and they
Yeah,
got
because
Knox.
you're a
It's
football fan.
well,
You
it's-
know that stuff.
But it's a replica of what Kansas City has.
Well, nobody.
Not at that level, but it's
Yeah,
darn close.
That's where I would have to beg to differ. I mean, they don't have a Kelsey.
They don't
No,
have
no,
the speed. They don't
They
have
don't
the
have
speed
the
that Kansas
level
City
of-
They
has
don't have the
either.
Tyreek Hill. Here's where I think the difference in this game, and I could be completely wrong, but we'll see next week when we're sitting back here talking. Here's where I think the difference in this game is. Buffalo likes to load the box. It's almost like Buffalo is a bully to the run.
Oh, totally.
They load the box. You're not going to be able to do that. Who are you going to double team? Are you double teaming Kelsey? Are you double teaming Hill?
Yeah, that's a
And
good
you're
point.
not going to be able to load the box on that. And when you do double team and you do pressure those guys, you're going to have Hardman and Pringle. And what do you call it? Mahomes is not afraid to throw those two guys the ball.
Oh, not anymore. Not up
You know
to
what I mean?
not missing Hill for a while and being,
I mean,
it's a
he's
different
not
team.
afraid to go to them. When you put those four guys on the field, you can't load the box. So I think the big thing is this is going to push Buffalo out of their comfort zone. They're not going to be able to run that 7-man in the box. You're not going to be able to have a 4-down lineman and 3 linebackers or roll. You can either have an Eagle 4-3 that you're running, or you can rotate that thing into a Falcon, and that's a lot of what Buffalo does. Is they'll run the 4-3 or they'll flip it into a 3-4. You're not going to be able to do that against these guys. They're going to be, when Mahomes comes out, he's going to be running spread offenses. You're going to have strong safeties, DBs, safeties. Everybody's going to have to go man lock on somebody. And now what you're doing is you're either spreading that field. If those guys are all decoys downfield, you're going to have McKinnon, you're going to have Edwards-Helaire in the flats as well, coming through on play action. I just don't think, and I understand what you're saying, and I completely respect the fact that Buffalo has a tight defense, but they have a tight box defense. I don't think when you start spreading the field on them, and really there's no other team in the NFL that has the same downfield threat that KC has right now.
All right, so let me ask you this. Back when they played the last time, that was week 5.
Yep.
Buffalo beat them 38-20
in Arrowhead.
at Arrowhead. Yeah, just like this one's going to be played.
Right.
At that point, Kansas City was playing well offensively, not
But
defensively.
they had no trust in Hardman, no trust in Pringle. They hadn't proved themselves yet. Until Hill went down.
But the ones
is
that
when
the ones we're worried about is manning up against Kelsey and manning up against the
No,
running
see, I
backs.
think it's going to be the opposite. I think they're going to take those dudes and cover those guys, and they're going to leave Hardman and Pringle.
Well, every team's done that all year. That's every team's attempted to do that, right?
No,
This is how they're
if
losing.
he's going spread, that means that you're going to have to man up against Kelsey and you're going to have to man up against the backs coming out of the backfield.
Correct, but what are you going to do with the Hardman and Pringle
General
that are on
speed.
the field at the same time?
Well, yeah, you're going to have to. I mean,
You're not going to have a linebacker. So let me just paint a scenario. What do they love to do with Kelsey? Throw him all the way out wide.
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got to put a corner on him.
Correct.
You put him out wide, you run Pringle in the slot on the opposite, or you run trips to that side with Hill, Pringle, and Kelsey, and then you run Hardman in the backside. You basically just said, okay, I've got to have a linebacker is going to have to go out in apex.
and that's what I was getting
What
at. Is,
linebacker has the speed to cover any of the Kelsey's even fast? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're not going to take a linebacker and bounce him out to play sideline.
Corner, yeah.
You're going to keep him into apex, and he's going to play the inside man. Well, if you've got Hill as the inside man or Hartman or Pringle as the inside man, no linebacker is going to pair up with their speed. And at that point in time, Kelsey and Hill are decoys, and you're going to get Pringle and Hardman are going to have huge games.
And not in that respect, Kansas City shouldn't have lost all year.
right.
Because what you're speaking to is
At least
why
Pat-
teams can't stop Kansas City.
But this didn't happen till later.
But half
in
a
the year.
dozen teams have found out how to stop
Not in
Kansas
the
City.
later half of the season.
No,
The
I think
later half
the
of the
offense
season
is the
when
same. The
they-
weapons were a little different.
Correct.
Yeah.
He didn't have the faith or the trust in Pringle or Hardman. And it was funny. I mean, I watched him when he played the Raiders. I was like, God, man, these two guys are on.
Yeah.
Everyone keys, and you build your defense around Kelsey and Hill.
These are the best
And-
two teams in the AFC. That's the sad part for me, is that we're going to see this game in divisional round and not AFC
and not the
championship.
championship game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
You're right.
that sucks. But one of these two teams will be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl.
I'd agree.
I would think so, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
It has to be. It's not going to be Tennessee and what's the other one? The Bengals.
Bengals. No.
Yeah, their run is coming to an end.
we shall see.
We think.
It's going to be one of these two teams right here versus
Take it
the
easy.
Packers or the
Oh.
Rams. So you got 4 teams, in my opinion, that have the potential to go right now. And it's the Bills and the Chiefs, or Packers Rams.
Which are Well, the Rams weren't in the championship game last year.
No.
It's going to be a good week of
3 out of
football.
4.
It's a good weekend of football.
Yeah.
It will be.
The teams that are in it are the teams that should have been in it.
Right.
And so that's good.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Well, that's it. Hopefully you were able to glean some sort of, I don't know.
Reflection off your head. Is that what you're saying?
Why?
Because you,
I mean,
you
we're
set it up.
finishing up here. You didn't even
tossed
have
it up
to
to
do
me.
that. No.
You tossed it up and just said,
gleaned
go.
some sort of information
I-
out of this that will help you understand what's going and who's going to win and
You paused.
should you. I know.
If you didn't pause,
That doesn't
then,
mean
then
it's
this,
a pit
the
to
lob,
softball.
that's how I take it. How do you take it, Matt? When somebody
Kind of that way.
You get an opening, you got to
You
take
know,
it.
softball, volleyball,
Yeah,
how we run it. It
whatever
was
it
a
is.
set.
I'm going to do a
it
lot
was a
better
set.
at getting co-hosts in here
Left it there for you to spike it.
next year. I don't know. I'll spend this off season interviewing people to see who's mean.
Okay. Good luck.
All right.
Good luck with that.
All right, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend watching football. I'd like to thank Matt and Anderson for their sponsorship here of the Huddle. Hopefully, we got all of them right. I guess we couldn't all.
Can't
get
really
them
have
Can't
it that
all
way.
get 'em.
Right. Only one of us can do that.
Hopefully,
I
I
think.
got them.
I'll
all
get them right, and
And
we'll console John next week.
Again.
Well,
Again.
no, I picked the Packers. So, I
Again.
mean, you'll be good there.
all right, I'm good with you
For at
getting them
least
all right.
another week.
Hopefully, one of the two of us got them all right.
There you go.
And we will
Well,
see
you went with
next
the
week.
Pack too, didn't you?
Sorry, I'm feeling left out. Just gonna
You
go
went
this
with the
way.
Pack too.
We did. I think we all picked
Yeah,
the
I
Packers.
think we all picked
I think we
the
all
All
picked
right.
the Packers.
Hopefully, we all got the Packer game right.
For one more week.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week in the Huddle.